Okay, here we go. Hey, what is up, guys? I am with a super special, fantastic guest. This is Taylor, you guys. If you haven't known, or if you don't go over to our gym, you're not on any of our socials or anything, you might not know that we got a new guy.
New guy,
But he's not really new. He's really seasoned in this weight loss fitness industry. So I just want to introduce you guys to Taylor. He is the brand new member of our team, and he is like taking on the role of, gosh, your role is a lot of things, isn't it?
yeah. I kind of like dip my toes in a little bit of everything,
Which we absolutely love. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your fitness background? Let's start there. Who are you?
Yeah. So just a little bit about me. So where am I looking?
You can look wherever you want.
I'll
Look up there.
I'll look at everybody because
Great.
we're talking to everybody
Yeah.
here. So a little bit about me. I kind of have a similar background story to most people who are in fitness, where I started with sports. So I started playing like a bunch of different sports. I wrestled, I played hockey, I played lacrosse, everything except basketball. I can't dribble a basketball. And then just a really quick story. When I was a wrestler, I wrestled varsity in 8th grade.
Nice.
I was going into finals of this tournament in Arlington, if anybody knows Arlington, near Poughkeepsie. And I wrestled a senior when I was in 8th grade. He grabbed onto my wrist, and I couldn't get him off me. I couldn't roll my wrists out. I couldn't switch him off. So at that moment, I was like, I need to get stronger,
Light bulb.
right now.
Light bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at that moment, I really started taking my strength and conditioning very seriously. And then I think it's like the typical story. I just gravitated towards that. I was like, this stuff is awesome. It improves everything. So
It improves everything? Oh, we'll have to touch on that later.
weird. So at that point, I started working at gyms, and I started following, like, my mentors were all gym owners, and were in the fitness space. So even before I could drive, I got a job working at a gym, just working at a front desk, like kind of selling memberships, but more like cleaning equipment, putting things away, and just conversing with members. And at that point, I was like, all the people that I follow that own gyms are sweet. Like, they're pretty cool. And they also, they came from similar backgrounds as me, and they made something of themselves. So I was like, that's what I want to do. So I decided from like a really young age that I wanted to open a gym. So I set myself up on the course to do that. So I probably worked in 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, like 5 or 6 gyms at this point.
That's awesome.
So I just kind of bounced back and forth between gyms. Then when I went to college, I got my strength and conditioning bachelor's from SUNY Cortland. While I was at SUNY Cortland, I worked with some of the athletes that were there. But more importantly, I was a personal trainer there with the students and faculty. So
That's awesome.
So Cortland actually has a really good program set up where it's $15, and that's how much we got paid. So people could get an hour personal training for $15. So that's where I learned how to do movement assessments. That's where I learned how to properly like prescribe exercises and walk around and like watch people while they were working out, how to cue people properly. And I also realized that it was more rewarding training like what we call Gen Pop.
Yeah.
So people who just want to lose weight, feel better in their skin, and gain confidence, compared to the athletes, because the athletes kind of have it made already, and it's two totally different things.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is kind of cool. I didn't realize how much we could help people improve their lives through training. So I started training more of them. Then when I got out of school, I got an internship for about 10 weeks, and I learned a lot at that internship. A little bit more on the like business side of things, and then I just dove right into it. Started my gym, and I ran that for about 3 years, and I learned a ton about everything.
Yeah, you learned so much.
My eyes were opened with how much there is to owning a gym business. For those of you out there who want to own a gym business, you can't just train people. You got to learn more about business
all the
too.
other stuff. Yeah.
And then then I owned my gym for about 3 years, and that's what landed me here.
Which is so cool, and like the perfect timing, because I like in a similar transitional place. It's like, okay, well, we've been doing this for X amount of years, and it literally takes so much time, effort, energy, and you need to be firing on all cylinders. And it was just like a perfect storm. And now we luckily have Taylor covering like 50% of the back end, and then I'm doing 50% of the back end. So now we have time to give you guys all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
That's
great.
right.
So now if you guys weren't following that, he literally just said that he's been in literally doing this kind of thing since 8th grade. So you're 25 now, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time when you think about it. That's a really long time to have that type of focus and that understanding that you needed to like make a change. So, and I think that a lot of our people can understand the need to make a change kind of thing. So now my next question is like, what's your philosophy on training? Like, what do you like base that like passion in? Like you said that you really enjoy helping people. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because my philosophy around training my clients has evolved over the years as I've gained more experience. Like when I went into college, I only had, I don't know, a couple dozen clients like under my belt of experience. And then since I've gone from college into now, it's hundreds of clients. So my philosophy has kind of evolved with my personal fitness journey evolving. But really, it comes down to just fitting it into your lifestyle so that you never stop doing it.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was like trying to get as big and as strong as possible and just like on the grindstone type lifting. Mm-hmm. Since I opened my business, I took on some what I would consider adult responsibilities. I have more, I don't have kids yet, but I have definitely an adult schedule. Mm-hmm. And I realized some of the complications that come with life and that would get in the way of some eating habits and exercise things. So it's shifted more towards just being able to consistently fit it in your schedule so that you never fall off.
Yeah.
So it's not going 100% in. And I guess it's more being realistic with your expectations and then just sticking to it.
Sticking to it is an important part. Tell me, like, what kind of responsibilities do you have in the day-to-day? Like, what's your your work versus personal development? Like, what's that look like for you? Because it's probably very similar to a lot of people.
Yeah, my day-to-day now, I mean, it changes a little bit as far as like how much personal development I do, mm-hmm. but I always go back to it. Like most people kind of go in waves. They do it for a little, then they don't, then they do it for a little, then they don't. But it's always been something that I've done because I got to get my head straight. Mm-hmm. Like I come from, I've been very distracted when I was younger. Like it was hard to focus on things. So just now, I guess it's less excuse me. I had a protein shake before this.
Yes.
Drink your protein shakes if you haven't already. Now what the heck was I saying? Oh, when I was younger, it was more journaling. And when I was a wrestler, every day when I woke up, I would write, what was the year? Like 2012, Section 9, state champ, blah, 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 whatever. And then I won it. And then the next year I'd write it twice. The next year I'd write it 3 times. The next year I'd write it 4 times. So it was a lot of that back then. Now it's just creating the standards and holding myself to them. So I'm very focused if I know what I'm trying to do. So like when we talked about business, like we have quarterly goals, like this is what we want to do, or annual goals. This is what we want to do this year. This is what we want to do this quarter. This is what we want to do this month and this week and then today. Mm-hmm. So I do the same thing with my personal life. So like I just need to know what I'm doing. And once I get all that organized, then I can execute on it.
Yeah, I love that. Now, so your work-life balance. I want to like real briefly touch on that because there are a lot of people that sometimes. Well, you've talked to plenty of people, and they'll say like, "Oh, I don't have time for that." That's not like. How do you do that? Because, obviously we like to lead by example and show people that it absolutely is possible. We don't have that different of schedules than you do. So what's that kind of look like?
Yeah. And, working a split schedule is difficult in that way too.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find time, especially if you work in between too. So, the way I balance it is by choosing my downtime activities with health in mind. Like, for me, I can't tell my clients to live a certain way if I don't, but also I enjoy living that way, and so does Bryn, my fiance. So, like in our downtime, if I get home later, like, sometimes we'll like to sit down and watch TV, but, I put the phone away, and again, I have the standard so I know what I want to do. So instead of picking up food from a fast food restaurant on the way home, we can cook together. We can cook together, so I can spend time with her and make an evening of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just spend those
Prioritizing.
hours prioritizing those hours. Yeah. Like, you got to prioritize your health. That's the biggest thing. It's so easy to just let it take a back burner. And there have been times, like especially like when COVID started, I was like the same as everybody else. I was like ordering pizzas and just sitting around, you know, and it feels like you have no time because you're just doing other things with your time. But I would say that for a lot of people, they already have the routine. It's just they kind of need to pluck some of the bad things out of the routine and put in some of the good ones.
Yeah.
You know, like
rotate it out.
Rotate it out. Like a lot of people talk about breakfast. They're like, I don't have time for breakfast. I'm like, but you're in bed for 10 hours before you have to eat breakfast. So you just have to prioritize the breakfast. And you have to understand how much good it's going to do for you when you do it today and next week and next month and all over time. Those little things. If you finish your day with a walk, think about how many extra steps you're getting with a 10-minute walk with your wife and kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Every day, instead of just plopping around and who knows what. You know what I mean?
So sitting watching TV.
Yeah, exactly.
A Netflix marathon.
Yeah, and you can still watch TV. Like, don't get me wrong, but just do the walk first. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Just go for your walk and then watch TV. You know, it just create the standard and hold yourself to it.
I love that. Creating a standard and holding yourself to it. That's actually something that we have been doing internally here too. So there's another place where our core values overlap, which I think is really cool. So now, do you have, because I talk about these a lot too, do you have like, because you know, you're saying you set a standard. Do you have a set of like personal core values that you like, that kind of are your guide?
So I don't have like values 1 through 5, you know, like listed, but I mean, there's a lot of core values that I have. Like I said, I was a wrestler. So one thing that I differentiated myself when I was younger was I was very serious from a young age, and I was following people who were very serious and like following just like on social media, but also like I'd go to meet these people too and see them. So like I always just want to like exceed the expectation that I set for myself, and also do it for the people around me too. Like I didn't come from like a terrible background, but I definitely want better for myself and my future and my kids and things like that when I have them. So I don't know if I necessarily have core values. I'm just never satisfied, you know what I mean? So I always just want to do better.
Yeah, like you can always do better. Not more, but you can always do better.
Yeah,
I love that.
In every way. Like I just see how negatively it affects people when someone decides to be content with their situation. Because when you're complacent, everyone else around you suffers in a way. So like I want to be better so that Bryn can be better. I want to be better so that our future is better. You know what I mean? Like I want to be better so that this gym does better, and so that my gym did better when I had that. Like it affects everyone around you, and if you don't, especially like I feel like as a guy, like I have a responsibility to lead in that way, so that everyone else can lead with what they're doing.
100%.
And Bryn can lead her students, and you know everything.
100%. I don't think that a lot of people realize that this is a little bit not really off topic, but it's like kind of similar. Like a lot of people don't realize that their actions literally affect everybody.
Yeah. Like
around them. So, for example, say you grew up in a family where you guys didn't know to eat better, so you just ate what your parents gave you, you know, because you have to, you trust them, right? You're eating what your parents give you, and then you, as you're growing up, you're in these really not great habits, whether it be overeating or undereating, right?
Yeah.
But that is a byproduct of the parent, right? So then now you teach that to your family, or maybe even like your coworkers. You're like, oh yeah, we used to have this all the time, right? It literally spreads like out that far. And I don't think that people understand that, or the like importance of thinking for the long term instead of like always instant gratification. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think for the long term personally, for their personal life.
Yeah.
A lot of people can think long term
for like
and
your
for
daughter.
their job.
Yeah.
For their job.
Oh yeah.
For their people are like really good at doing all the things that we talk about professionally, but then when it comes to their personal life, it all falls apart. because they run out of bandwidth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
like they can set the standard for their job, they can meet the standard, they can develop, but then right when they get home, it all crumbles.
Yeah, I feel like, well, that's like a place where, like, what we do specifically is really helpful because we take out a lot of that decision fatigue for people. So that's a good plus. But what he's saying about, or what you're saying about the always having a high standard, for me, and I actually got this from a company that I used to work with, we would call that like our core value of relentless growth. Like, relentlessly have to grow, because if you don't, you're just going backwards.
Yeah.
Or you're just staying in the same place, but time is still going. You know what I mean? So I think that's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and staying where you are, if you like where you are, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, but growth could be from other places. Like in business, people always think about growth being like making more money, serving more clients, but some people don't want to. Some people like, some people might have just 2 staff, 2 employees, and they like serving the amount of people they do. And that's cool if you want to do that, because they're still growing in different ways. It's not necessarily all like monetary growth and things like that. But I'm not like that.
Yeah. I obviously, both being business owners, we have a monetary drive, obviously. But the underlying piece to making that happen is just literally being a good person and caring. That's it. That is like, I think the biggest thing that I've learned in business is if you are a good person and you care about people and their development, then the better you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we put a lot into everything.
Yeah.
Like it's our livelihood. It's
Yeah.
helping everybody else. So it only makes sense.
That's awesome. Now, a couple more questions. Rapid fire. I'm really bad at rapid fire, but I have a couple in the back of my head.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Upper body day or leg day?
Like what should I do more, or what do I like doing?
Which one do you like better?
Oops. Upper body, obviously. Yeah, I like a good deadlift or squat session, but I'm not gonna choose it. I'm going there to do back.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Sorry, Coco. That's my cat. I have a cat, but
I have a cat. He's an outdoor cat. I'm allergic to them.
oh, that's
I
not.
like all of them. I had other ones, but I can't remember their. I'm so bad at rapid fire. I guess
Jeez.
I had 2
windows
in the
up or
bank.
windows down.
In the car?
Yeah,
Down.
yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
All right, now you go.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. Come on.
Wait, I love vanilla.
No.
Oh my god.
Chocolate comes from vanilla, so
Does it?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it. It sounded like true.
I'm pretty sure you take vanilla and add chocolate to it.
No,
Now
the
it's chocolate.
conviction in what you said, I believed it.
Yeah,
Perfect. Great. So we got a trustworthy.
I'm trustworthy,
Passionate.
whether it's true or not.
Like I was fully on board for that. Anyway, I'm terrible at rapid fire. I don't know why I tried to do it, but we learned 2 things about you. So tell us about your home life really quick, and we'll wrap it up for them so they can get to know you a little bit better.
Like my home life now, or
Yeah.
man, or like when I was a kid. Right now.
Yeah.
Well, I have been lucky enough to find another person that is as goal-driven and future-focused as I am. That's the only reason not the only reason, but that's one of the main reasons we work so well together, because she's very serious and I'm very serious, and we both want to develop our future together and make something better than we had. So, so I don't know. I guess like a general day in my life would be I get up and I come here and I focus on this business. My fiance is a school teacher, so she goes and helps out the kiddos. She's actually on summer break right now, so
Love that.
she's rocking it.
Love that.
And then so we don't really get to see each other again until like 6 or 7 at night, which is not a lot of time, but that's how it's been for a while. But we make it work because we limit screen time. And we don't have kids yet either, so that's huge. Also, It's not so crazy, but limiting screen time is like the most important thing because, just like everybody, we get in the habit of just scrolling on our phones.
Yeah.
And it's like you lose that connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we've really made an effort to shut the screens off and keep working on like the genuine connection between the two of us. And when we do, it's like, oh my gosh, This is
my
awesome.
bestie.
Yeah.
I love this.
Like, I love spending time with you. So, you know, we like being active together. We like creating goals for ourselves, working towards our future, and that's it.
Yes.
We're both extremely supportive of each other.
I love that.
When I owned my gym and I was literally working from like 5 a.m. to like 9 p.m. every single day, like even on the weekends, she was holding it down. She would make food if I wasn't there. Like, she would clean if I wasn't there. And if my schedule got
messed up.
If my schedule got lighter and then she was busy at work, I would pick up the slack for her. So we have like a super good dynamic together. And
that's awesome. You
We're
guys
excited.
have pets?
Yeah. So I have a cat from when I was like younger. She's like, I don't even know, 10 or something.
Oh my goodness.
She's a little chunky white cat. And then we have Walker. He's like, we rescued him from a flea market.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like a pitty lab mix. You know,
he's handsome.
He's all white with a little pink nose with brown spots on his nose.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, I would bring him in here, but enough of his hair gets in here from my socks. So
yeah, you'll definitely see me very often with a ton of white hair and any black clothes because we have a white dog too. So
it's crazy. You vacuum and the next thing you know, there's a whole another surface of white hair on the floor.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I literally vacuumed yesterday and I was like, where does it come from? I pet him and it just fluffs off.
It's insane.
What are you doing?
It's insane. So I have a question for you
Yeah.
before we finish. Because we were talking about some of my core values, and I know that we're very similar in that way, and we're both driven and things like that. So do you have set core values that you know off the top of your head?
Absolutely.
That you follow?
Absolutely. Relentless growth is one of them, and that obviously means exactly what it says, is just make sure you're making forward progress every single day somewhere, right? It doesn't have to be always business. It doesn't always have to be personal, but like always make sure that you're upholding that standard. That's the word, I guess. And then another one is responsive over reactive. I have been known to, like, as have been growing up, I have always been very emotionally charged. Like, if anybody meets me or sees any of these videos, you know I have a lot of energy. And my energy has always, like, historically been affected by some kind of outside factors. So I am in like practicing and getting way better at being more responsive and not emotionally reactive. Like, give yourself a beat, think first, and not take everything so like it's not that serious. Like, literally, you understand this on a different level because like business is really hard, especially the business of being leadership of hundreds of people, right?
Yeah.
So, it's really hard because you're never going to make everybody happy, right? And there would be times where one little teeny minor inconvenience would happen and it would just ruin my day and ruin the night at home, and I'd be like, oh, everything's terrible. But now and this is just for years now, I've been really working on that not being reactive and being responsive. Those are like my two really big ones.
I think that's great. Yeah. I mean, I noticed that when I ran a business, it's all the same things that you're talking about. The people, like, I just kept seeing this over and over again. The people who are like really hyper emotionally responsive to things and let the little bumps get to them are like that own businesses, like have an early grave. It just, the stress literally kills people.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped me in my personal life. Like, you'll get like a 5 sign up month, and then the next month, like, you know, something catastrophic happens.
Absolutely catastrophic.
Your software breaks down, or like one
the
of your
mirror
coaches
breaks,
pulls out. Yeah.
Or somebody
like,
moves.
You plan an event and then it crumbles. Like, something happens, and it definitely taught me to just accept the situation for how it is and find the next step. And I think that is huge. And that's kind of like, it's kind of on the same note as not reacting emotionally. It's like, here's the problem. We just need to fix it now.
Yep.
You can't let it affect you because it will literally drive you to an early grave.
Yeah, it's
Look at how
true.
many small business owners that didn't grow their business and just let it all get to them have heart attacks when they're like 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, just being able to get almost like Anthony would say, like a military way of thinking. Like,
Find the solution.
just find the solution.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're then you can be happy.
That has been very helpful since Anthony has joined my team as well. he like understands me like as a really great friend. So like he like has been really good to like kind of keep me in check there. Also shout out Megan. Now we're going to wrap it up. I want you to give people that have they don't exercise, they might be unhappy with the stage that they're in right now. What should their next step be? How can they overcome that just on their own?
You have to take action. There's no way around it. There's literally, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. There's no way to ease yourself into things. You just have to take the first step. You have to literally just take the first step. I can't stress that enough. The amount of people who want to do things and just never end up pulling the trigger on them is insane. And the first step is just finding somebody who knows what they're doing to help you.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be such a stress-free process just getting that guidance. And that's exactly what we do. The first step would be reaching out to somebody, whether it's your cousin who knows how to train people or you saw somebody, just don't be afraid to ask people for help. Go get the help you need, get started on something, and then if that wasn't the right thing, you can graduate to the next step. But you got to just like today.
Yeah.
Don't wait till tomorrow. You got to do it today.
Yeah, because waiting till Monday, you only got so many more Mondays.
No, that's what got you in the position you're in right now. Is waiting till Monday.
Yeah.
Because Monday never comes.
No.
Except
for
work Mondays.
For work Mondays.
Yeah. Work Mondays always come around.
They're always here.
Yeah.
But awesome. I 100% agree. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you popping on here. And also, you guys, welcome Taylor to our team. Comment hello, any questions you might have from below also. And just welcome him to the family.
Good to be here.
Awesome. We'll talk to you guys soon.